The best way to introduce the heritage process is by asking you to do a simple exercise in your mind. If you could peer 50 years into the future and witness a gathering of your entire family, what would you like to see going on? What kinds of conversations would you like to hear? And what would you want them to feel? For most people, the ideal would be to see their family unified and healthy and working together towards common family goals. Do you have a picture in your mind of what you'd like to see for your own family? Now, think about the financial and estate planning you've done to date and answer this question. How far will that planning get you towards the picture of your family that you just envisioned in your mind? Hopefully, it will pass your money into the future. But does it also accomplish the other parts of what you'd like to see going on in your family 2 or even 3 generations from now? The overwhelming odds are that your existing planning will not get you all the way to what you'd like to see for your family in the future. The reasons why and the solution to the problem are behind the story of the heritage process. For centuries, most planning has consisted of 2 primary elements: financial planning, which grows the money, and estate planning, which passes the money to the heirs. Unfortunately, for as long as records have been kept, the majority of the plans built upon those elements alone have ultimately collapsed. Why? Well, in part, it's because planning that is based on just 2 elements is about as reliable as a 2-legged stool. No matter how hard you try to remain stable, the laws of physics say you're probably going to topple over. And yet, this is the very platform upon which most people have tried to balance their planning since the Middle Ages. Change does not come easy when it comes to money and planning. 9 out of 10 families will lose the family assets across just 3 generations. Worse yet, the family unity and individual family member achievement that the parents desired are often destroyed along with the money. Now, this raised an obvious question. If 90% of families fail to keep the family and its assets together for more than 3 generations, what do the other 10% do differently? That for the 10%, it was not so much the success of their financial or estate planning as it was that they added a 3rd element to their planning: heritage planning. They prepare their family for their inheritance. In fact, families who have retained their unity and their assets across 3 or more generations have done so through recessions, depressions, and world wars. Heritage planning acknowledges a fundamental reality. There are 2 kinds of inheritance that we receive and pass on to our heirs, not one. Your financial inheritance is based upon financial and estate planning. It prepares and protects your assets for you and passes them to your children. But they're only part of the inheritance quotient, and as we've learned, they're not even the most important side of the equation. It turns out that the most important inheritance we can receive or pass on to our children is an emotional inheritance, the sum total of our history, experience, life lessons, values, traditions, and family stories. The emotional inheritance shapes who we are. It defines us as individuals and as a family, and it provides a path for us to follow even through the most difficult times. Financial and estate planning are designed to create and pass the financial inheritance. They do that job well. But if history teaches us anything, it's that planning for the future of your money is not the same as planning for the future of your family. Over the past 2 decades, we have developed the 3rd element of planning into a systematic process that adds a rock-solid 3rd leg of support to the planning platform. The heritage process creates and passes the emotional inheritance, and it prepares the heirs to receive both of their inheritances. It prepares your heirs to receive the benefits of your financial and estate planning so that they can control their inheritance rather than have their inheritance control them. The heritage process has been experienced by thousands of families, from average income earners to billionaires. It works for all families at all income levels, with concrete benefits for individuals, for families, for professional advisors, nonprofits, and the communities and causes they support. It will help you pass your values, standards and principles to future generations, and it will work with your financial and estate planning to help keep your family and your assets together and strong for many generations. Planning for the future of your money is a good idea. Planning for the future of your family at the same time is even better.